Hello all, welcome again to History in 3 with Dr. JC. I'm Dr. John Chapo. Today's focus, the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church, or Gedächtniskirche, as Germans would say for Memorial Church. Located today in the Breitscheidplatz of western Berlin, the Kaiser Wilhelm Church, depicted here on the left side of the screen, was actually erected in the 1890s by Kaiser Wilhelm II in honor of his grandfather, Kaiser Wilhelm I. Now, prior to getting into the Allied bombing in 1943 that's going to leave the Kaiser Wilhelm Church in the shape we can see it here on this slide and in Berlin today, known as the Ulitzahn, or the Hollow Tooth, I'd be remiss if I failed to mention how it is that Kaiser Wilhelm II was actually the grandson of Kaiser Wilhelm I, and this episode in German history known as the Year of the Three Emperors. And I mention it because it becomes somewhat of a great what if in German history. In the year 1888, we're going to see three German Kaisers, remembered in the German-speaking world as Drei Achten, Drei Kaiser, three eights, three emperors, or three Kaisers, sandwiched between Kaiser Wilhelm I on the left-hand side and Kaiser Wilhelm II on the right-hand side, grandfather and grandson, is the son or daddy in the middle, Kaiser Frederick III. When Frederick III comes to the throne in March of 1888, he's only going to rule for 99 days because he had already been diagnosed with a terminal case of cancer. He becomes the great what if, though, because of his politics. He was much more of a liberal or progressive politician. And so as the German Empire begins to expand, and it will quite a bit under Kaiser Wilhelm II, the question becomes, wow, what if Frederick III had lived? What would have been the trajectory of Germany and the German Empire? Would it have been placed on such a Prussian war footing? Would it have been as antagonistic with some of its neighbors? That's a great what if. What is less speculative and much more concrete, pardon the pun here, is the impact of the Allied bombing raid on Berlin in November of 1943, specifically the RAF, or Royal Air Force, and its impact on Berliners and specifically the church. On the nights of November 22nd, 23rd, 1943, the Royal Air Force sent almost 750 aircraft, two-thirds of which were the famed British Lancaster bombers depicted here, into the heart of Germany, into Berlin, to bomb not only the war industry there, but erode home front morale. For the British, it was a successful raid. For Berliners, decidedly less so. Most of the British bombs fell west of the city center, which happened to be residential areas. And because of the dry conditions, firestorms started. When those fires eventually were put out, several thousand Germans were dead, several thousand more wounded, and hundreds of thousands left homeless. And through it all, the German home front morale remained strong, a true testament to the strength and character of the German people. And among the casualties that night was the Gedächtniskirche, or Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church, the same church and ruins we can see today. Because following World War II, Berliners left it up as a reminder of not only the strength and resolve of the German people to rebuild, but also the horrors of war, a daily reminder that one is responsible for their actions, and a symbol for all of us to consider, reflect upon, and ponder when faced with decisions of whether we should use the pen or the sword to make people or other nations act or behave as we'd like them to. The Kaiser Wilhelm Church remains a very impactful and powerful place, and if you're ever in Berlin, please do stop by. For History in 3 with Dr. JC, I'm Dr. John Chapo. Thanks for tuning in to this episode on the Kaiser Wilhelm Memorial Church, and I'd ask you to watch out for future episodes as well as those that are out there already. Thanks again, and so long for now.